if they're going to do anything. So wellness is the view that we take in terms of healthcare and its needs. Our speaker today brings in a very important message. It's time to bring attention to the need for adequate care for mental illness. All of us in this room today have been impacted by the lack of knowledge and help available to these patients. Mental illness must be part of the healthcare discussion in our country. Rita is bringing her personal experience and a plea for us today. She has devoted her days to this cause. She is a hero. Please welcome our speaker.
Thank you, Karen. And thanks to all of you for being here, because this is a hot topic, a very hot topic that you're going to help me converse with you about today. I am Rita Thrasher. I'm the president of Boca Raton's Promise, shown here on the screen. I hope that you adjust your chairs so that you will be able to see what is going to be shown on that screen today. And I am also pleased to be the chairperson of the Palm Beach County Action Alliance for Mental Health. I am a retired teacher of 40 years and a parent of 3 daughters. Mental illness and mental health, we define them differently. Both are deserving and receiving attention today. Now, I've been working with a team of very dedicated professionals. 3 of them are here with me today. Ed Frontera for more than 10 years, and Gerda Klein for about 9 years, and Christina Lerner, probably about 3 years. She's the new kid on the team. We are joined by other women in the audience because they are breaking the silence, or about ready to. The silence is that on mental illness. We're breaking through the shame and the fear that has enshrouded generations, preventing us and our children from getting help. The League of Women Voters deserves the attention from all of us today. You are in a position to assist, help, and guide, and we're calling on you to help us do that. A little bit about me. Well, I'm an Ohio girl, graduated from Kent State University. I married, I began teaching, and then I had 3 daughters. And we moved to Florida for a little sunshine in our life. It was in Florida that I learned to become strong. Living in Plantation, Florida, I learned to become brave. My youngest daughter, you see in this picture, Valerie, was diagnosed with bipolar disorder at age 14. We didn't know what it was, and I had a master's degree. She was hospitalized in Miami for a year and a half, and the family experienced stress and financial strain with 2 daughters who were in college. My middle daughter, Marla, seen on the upper right, dropped out of college and trained to be a physical therapist. The oldest daughter, Leslie, graduated from Peabody Conservatory and left to sing in opera in France. Meanwhile, their sister Valerie left the Miami hospital against medical advice, worked at IBM for a year, and at age 18 left for North Carolina, where she lived until the age of 42, on and off drugs, in and out of jails and hospitals. And then in 2004, the phone call came. Her body had been found in the woods near her trailer home. It had been there about 4 months. Too long to determine the cause of death. Her sisters, Leslie and Marla, were with me for their sister's burial in 2004. Marla married and became a fine physical therapist. She lives in West Palm Beach. Leslie returned from Paris and settled in New York City. But a few years later, she experienced the first of 3 psychotic breaks before moving to Boca Raton for love and care of family. Once stabilized, she moved into her own apartment in Pompano Beach, where she worked part-time until her death. She managed her life well with medication. She died in 2014 of natural causes. I've lived the experience. Life was challenging for 35 years. And all during this time, I taught reading in the public schools. I divorced. I cared for my mother. And I took a job leading a nonprofit, Boca Raton's Promise. I did mounds of research. And I loved my daughter, Marla, from afar. She was a traveler. Today, Marla and I work together. With her support, I've been able to break the silence for our mental health. Marla and I use this mission for its therapeutic value to us. Experiencing mental illness in the family affects all members of the family. It leaves scars which can linger for years. Until you take hold of life and look forward to living it. And I do. Now you know a little bit about me, and now I want to know a little bit about you. Please raise your hand if you are an active member of the League of Women Voters. Oh gosh, that's great. That's my dream come true, to be speaking to you. Raise your hand if you know someone, friend or family, living with a mental illness. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect that, Ed. Did you? How about you, Gerda? No. Raise your hand if you know someone who does not acknowledge they have a mental illness. Thank you. Raise your hand if you've had a conversation about illness, mental illness, in the last month. Now, please raise your hand if you have lived the experience with someone you love. Thank you. Now I know a little bit about you. And now it's time to talk about this thing called Palm Beach County Action Alliance for Mental Health. After retirement, I worked for a new nonprofit, Boca Raton's Promise, when I became seriously brave about speaking about mental health, and I became an advocate. I aligned with people in Boca Raton, and then I went a little bit beyond, because we didn't really have much going on in Boca Raton. People didn't talk about it. And so I went north and I aligned with people who were in positions to make things happen. I introduced myself to the leadership at NAMI and Mental Health Association and that wonderful group, the Caregiving Youth. Together we four lived the experience. And so we decided to establish a small alliance in 2011 to learn about each other and identify priorities for action. That was the Palm Beach County Action Alliance for Mental Health, with a mission to provide education and awareness for early identification and gather resources in the same room to talk. And we were going to target schools, colleges, homes, communities of faith, and the workforce. Well, did you know that the percentage of workforce is affected by a cost of 4% of the gross domestic product? A lot of people don't know that. There are now 28 members, and we have a steering committee of 4 for the Palm Beach County Action Alliance. And I have an announcement to make. Nancy Gow, would you please stand? You've been attending our meetings as a representative of the League of Women Voters. You have now, on Friday, in 2 days, will be announced as the new member of the Palm Beach County Action Alliance. You are on right, Gerda? Stand up, Gerda. She is the person that we talk to when we have new people that want to become members. Thank you, Gerda Klein. Well, thank you, everybody. The issues then emerged for the Palm Beach County Action Alliance. We formed study groups, and some of the topics were how to support the local schools. And so we worked with programs in the 4th grade. We introduced a program with help from the guidance counselors called Break the Silence, teaching the next generation about mental illness. 4th and 5th graders in Palm Beach County. Not all of them yet, but it's growing. And then we have an after-school friends program in the middle schools and sometimes in the elementary. And then NAMI has wonderful programs in the schools. We also are exploring how we can help the LGBTQ communities, because you'll find out later there's a need there. We became a member of the League of Cities. Very important that we support our municipalities. You think you've got the hot topic? They've got one. They don't understand it, and they're looking for all of us to give them some help. There is an ask that we have at this time from the League of Cities, or the League of Women Voters, and the League of Cities, both. We would like you to have a seat now and give Nancy Gow your full support. She's going to be your connect to the Palm Beach County Action Alliance for Mental Health. And we also would like to ask the League to consider designating Nancy or someone to guide and steer us as we look to making a difference in the legislative priorities. For 2 years, Lori Berman has carried the cause herself. It's time for us to support her and say, mental health first aid is of importance and should be taught and supported by the state legislature. We really need that. And then we would like you, as the League of Women and the men who care about them, to think about becoming a sponsor of the I Am One campaign that you will learn about in a few minutes. That's our ask of you today. Today, there's a big cry. More money to expand existing services. I have learned as I've worked with different groups, money seems to be the issue. And talks now are centering around Baker Acts, the Marchman Act, suicide prevention, and the wraparound and continuum of care services. Well, the fact is, services are indeed inadequate or non-existent. As our president acknowledged, it's complicated. Yeah, it is very complicated. And then we ask, but who's responsible? The parents responsible? School's responsible? Ask Karen Hill. She knows the problems are. Maybe we need to look at our communities of faith. They could do a lot to help. Put it in the pulpit. We just don't know who's responsible. But some of the youth are accepting responsibility. They're pulling it out of the pocket and they're clicking and they know. So there are a lot of unanswered questions. But my question was to me, what could I do? What can I be responsible for? So I decided to find those who seem to be hurting the most. Women. And I set out to find those who would talk about it and to organize them, to identify their needs, and to take action. About 24 women answered my call for action November 2015. We met at a fancy restaurant. We bought dinner. We told our stories to each other. We cried. We comforted. And then we got our spines up and we planned. We told our stories. Right? You'll see telling the stories in front of a microphone at the Broken Sound Club. And we decided that we would buy t-shirts. And we announced that we were one in the 4 citizens in our community that was and had been and is now being impacted by mental illness. 1 in 4. And we declared to start an I Am One of the 4 campaign. And we designed buttons, we refined our stories, and we hosted the big Voice Awards to say thank you. We made an 8-minute film called We Are One, which premiered at the Kravis Center in January. The producer of that film is here with me today. Christina, would you raise your hand? You're going to hear more from her later. Together, if you'll turn the lights down. Is it necessary to turn the lights down, Ed?
No, not necessary.
We'll see.
I've got it dimmed.
But I do encourage you to move your chairs. This film, I think you'll want to see. If not, there's going to be a way for us to get it to you so that you can own the film yourself and send it off to whoever you want. But right now, I'd like to present to you with Christina Lerner's skill behind it. We are one.
There was a time when life was joyful, when my 3 daughters laughed, romped, and sang together before mental illness. But after mental illness, there were 2 daughters,